Welcome to Larp Academia. But today we're going to talk about what you get as a level 2 bard, and I'll explain why I'm wearing this sleek gambeson in a little bit. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell so that you can stay up to date and learn about the plights of a bard and how to actually make it less painful as you level. Now the first ability that you get is Empower. Empower seems like it's pretty awesome. It gives people back their per lives. No one else in the game can do this, which is pretty great. The problems occur when it's per refresh. All right, cool ability, unique. I understand it's per refresh, but how much can you get out of this? How much bang for your buck can you get? Well, you can restore 2 per life verbals. And, you know, that's not... It seems good on the surface, but really it's not. Especially when you consider the classes that really use their per lives. If you think of a caster or someone else who has a bunch of per lives, like let's say assassin, you're restoring, 2 per lives. That's not very great. But if you use it correctly, you can give people who don't have that many per lives their per lives back, or in a clutch situation. Like for example, a scout. Oh, I'm out of heals. Scout, here's some heals. And you could go to Barbarian. Barbarian, I'm out of my Brutal Strike. Well, you can get a Brutal Strike there. And it can be useful. That's why it's orange. It's just that really it gets replaced later on by a much better spell that you can get. So the fact that it's easily replaceable, and it still has a unique situation where it can work with classes that only have a few per lives, or only need to restore some per lives. It's an option, and it's an okay option at level 2, but the problem you're going to have as a bard in these levels 2 and 3 is that you don't have enough points to really take this option. So, it can be good. It's orange. It's not terrible. It can be for bards who want to play a bit more battery, but at the same point, you can't really utilize it at this point in time, sadly. Now, your next purchasing option, well, not really an option or requirement, is armor. Now, why I'm wearing armor, and will be wearing armor all the way through level 5, I might take it off at level 6, but maybe we'll see, is that as a bard, armor is a requirement when leveling up. Why do I say this? Well, I started leveling as a bard some time back when V8 happened, and I didn't have armor. What could I do? Well, I'm glad you understand. That's all I could do. The reason being is that I don't have any way to have more frequency in my spells. I'm not really a spellcaster. I meant to go out there and swing with my swords and kind of annoy, but I don't have the per lives or ability to annoy people, so there's not much that I can really do if I'm just a caster. Armor helps fix that. Armor makes it so that, well, it doesn't fix the caster part. You're not going to get that fixed to level 6. But armor makes it so that you can do something. I put on a gambeson at that point in time. Well, actually, I had chain. I put on my chain in my 3-point section just to get one bit of armor. And even though it was clunky and hard to move around in, it helped my gameplay so much, and I was able to do so much more. I was almost as good as a level 1 class, and that's sad. That's very sad, but it's true. If you don't have armor, you kind of want to be another class, because whatever you're going for, another class can do it better. I'm going to go and control the enemy team. Why aren't you a wizard or a druid? Because they can do it better than you. Well, okay, I'm going to go help my teammates. With what? Why aren't you a healer? Well, I'm going to go in... I mean, I'm unique as a bard, so I could... empower? And you're seeing the problem here. There's not much else you can really do that's better than other classes or even comparable, because you don't have frequency. We don't have spell balls. We're the only spellcasting class that doesn't have spell balls, so we have a huge frequency issue. We can't reuse abilities. If a game's going on for actually what it should be 20 minutes or more, well, really it's 30 minutes, but if a game goes for 30 minutes, what are you going to use? I mean, you'll be out of your spells very quickly. That's why you need armor. It lets you actually go out on the front lines and fight. It lets you sing your song before you get into a battle, or do a swap transition. I see a person in armor. Ha! I sing my song. Back. Someone's casting at me and I'm not fighting. Ha! I sing my song. And I'm back. And that's all you really need to do as a bard. You don't need to constantly be out there and think, oh, what spells should I cast at people and everything? Because you don't have those spells. You don't have the points, you don't have the options, and it's pretty terrible as a low-level bard for spell casting. In addition to this, bard does not have heal. Your heal is well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But your armor is what protects you. If you don't have armor, you are a weak, squishy thing that is terrible at spellcasting. You need armor. You will honestly need armor all the way from level 2 to level 5. And at level 6 you can take it off, but you'll still probably want at least 1 point, because 1 point is this awesome 1 point of invul. It stops a fireball, it stops an arrow, it stops a strike. It's amazing. And I choose to only go out in 1 point. Now, something also that you want to note is that you do want it to be fully covered. I do have openings in my arms, and my t-shirt is here. I'm not wearing a long sleeve t-shirt, but I do have some opening in my arms to give me some movement. I'm actually very comfortable in this. My pants, well, they're my older gambeson. I'm able to move pretty comfortably in them, and you want this light armor, specifically gambeson. If you can get some thin leather or something, sure, but you want this light armor to keep you to be able to maneuver, to have protection everywhere, full coverage. I mean, even the back of my legs have full coverage. It's not too hard. And you want to make it so that you are able to play the game and actually have a chance. And armor is the main way you need that. It's a requirement. It's only blue right now because at level 6 there's an option that kind of nullifies this, but it doesn't. And it's also not always applicable at level 6. So, at level 6 is really when it becomes blue. But until then, it is purple. Take it. You need armor. Otherwise, it's kind of like a warrior. If you don't have armor, why are you playing this class? Your next purchasing option is greater release. Now, healers get greater release, and they always experience it because they need to. Given this, why would you take greater release as a bard? Why would you care about greater release? Well, there are a few reasons. You could try to greater release a friend who's a bit further away, since you'll be more on the front lines. Okay, that's not really a good answer for it. But the truth is that greater release is used offensively for bards more so than how healers use it. Healers use it as, oh, we'll release a curse, or oh, I might release a teammate. This is stretching it. I might release a teammate that's on the front lines that I can't get to. They could use it like that. You as a bard, however, you can use it offensively. So a barbarian's going to their fight after death, and they're going, you can release them of that ongoing ability. You can also release wizards from their elemental barrage. You can actually use it on quite a few offensive variants. So taking 1 or 2 greater releases is a option. You don't really have points to do that, which is why it's orange, and it's not a guarantee, but it can be very powerful, kind of like Empower. Now on to Innate. Innate makes it so that you are instantly able to charge something. Sounds great. Question, what do you have to charge? Well, naturally I have Confidence, which it charges someone else's, so I'm kind of charging it anyway. Okay, so let's throw out Innate. What do you have to charge? Well, at 6th level, I get a chargeable song. Okay, that's at 6th level, first off. Second, no, you should be charging it at a different point. So, what you have to charge is what you've experienced. And when you experience something, you might as well just take another of that ability, or you might wonder, wow, what am I trying to experience? And that's a very good question as a bard. We'll go over that in a little bit as a very good option to experience, but it doesn't require Innate. It's not a per refresh for a charge times 10. Charge times 5 is actually pretty good, so you don't really need Innate. There's no real reason to take it. And if you try to make Innate work with another build, which I'll talk about later of what I've seen, it doesn't really work. So it just doesn't have a purpose, doesn't have a place. Don't take it. It's a crutch that doesn't actually help you do anything. Now on to your purple spell for this level. Oh my god, so wonderful. As a bard, this is your heal. This is the way that keeps you in the game. Even if you don't have armor, you'll still want this because, oh my god, mend. So, as a bard, when I'm hitting the arm, if I didn't have armor, I'd lose my arm. If I do have armor, I've lost my armor point. Mend makes it so that, hey, I can heal that armor point. I know it's not really heal, but it does the same thing, essentially, as long as you don't take too much damage to that section. So, when you are hit with an arrow to the chest, mend your armor. In addition to this, when you block an arrow with your swords, well, I mean, you lost a sword, you're pretty much now an armored peasant, yay. So mend makes it so that you're not crap. Mend makes it so that you can repair that sword, you can repair your armor, and at low level, you're not going to have enough mends. So this is the one that you would want to experience, and it makes it charge times 5. It's a little annoying, but you are able to have a chargeable heal, essentially. And when we get to higher levels, you'll see that Mend synergizes with other meta magics. It makes it so that you are able to do this in combat as well. It just gets better and better. Mend's already really good at level 2, and it just improves in a drastic amount. And as you get shields, when destruction arrows hit it, oh, Mend is wonderful because shields stop you from using too many Mend. So Mend just synergizes with bards so well with the spells that they get, and it's so necessary. This is more necessary for you than any other class. Warriors have scavenge, so it's not really Mend, but when you compare it to other casting classes, Mend is more important for you than it is for a druid. And druids repair their armor and their golems and heal golems with Mend, but for you, Mend is more important than a druid. I cannot overstate this. Take Mend, experience it if you can, and just try to live a little bit longer. Now, we are on to our songs. The first song that you get is Song of Battle. Song of Battle makes it so that you gain the barbarian ability, armor breaking. And why I say barbarian ability is because it makes you kind of like a barbarian. Up until this point, you've only been conditionally able to get your immunity to command through Song of Determination. Well, now you can choose. Do you want half the immunities of the barbarian or one of their abilities that's honestly rarely used because people don't use armor? Now, when I say it like that, it doesn't sell it very highly, and honestly, it's not a huge sell. From Song of Battle, the problem that I've seen, especially with armor breaking, is that 1, people don't have armor. 2, when people do have armor, it's ancestral. So what's the point? Or 3, there's people like me who say, hey, why would I get 2 points of armor when I can get 1 point of invul, pretty much? And I can just mend it back. So, armor breaking is very conditional. It can stop other effects, like Gift of Air for a druid, and it is okay to take, but it's orange for that reason. I personally have not used it that much, but when playing against someone who actually optimizes in their class and is rolling down the field because they are actually playing their class well, you can put a stop to that if it's a martial class like a scout or a barbarian who actually uses armor, and Song of Battle's not bad. It's just not amazingly great. Now a song that's a little bit worse than that is Song of Visit. The reason why I say this and why it's not completely gray is because Song of Visit is a weird one. It's the annoying song. And I'll tell you a story about it in a little bit, but Song of Visit makes it so that you are invulnerable. You cannot be touched. You are a god, but you can't interact with anyone else and you're stopped. When the song ends, you have to go back to base because you're insubstantial. It's not very impressive, to be honest, sadly enough, but there is some utility to it. And when I say this, I mean quests. Quests are when a bard can be so annoying. I actually was on a quest at one time, went to a monster who was trying to say, "Oh, you can't get us because I'm this giant spider," or whatever. I sang Song of Visit, and I sat there for about 5 or 6 minutes, constantly badgering him, annoying him, and if you do this, you're invulnerable. He started asking people, "Please, I'll give you my treasure to kill this bard," because I was that annoying. And eventually, it got to the point where he's just, "Here, just take it. Just take this treasure. Just take it and go away from me." And that's what Song of Visit is useful for. Because as a bard, you are very annoying to other people. And Song of Visit lets you do that. Song of Visit can also help you get information in quests. And it's good all around when you're trying to do that in quests. In an actual battle game, not really good. And when you're trying to do anything else in quests aside from annoy people or get information, not very good. So it's definitely not widely applicable in a very niche spell. But if you get it, it can be useful. And part of this is because, well, it does make you invulnerable and gets back, and you might think, oh, that I have a free get out of jail free card. It's 3 lines, unlike all of your other songs, which is just 1. So, it's Song of Visit only has really that one purpose. But if you are able to, definitely annoy a monster to where they're just saying, please take this, get out of my face, I don't care, win the game, get your game item, just go, And that is what Song of Visit is extremely useful for. Now, we talked about how, as a bard, at the end of every level, I'll go over the best way to optimize it for you to make your life a little bit better. And that is, second level, get armor, get mend. First level, 2 shorts and an experienced mend. Simple, you lose release, you don't have Song of Battle, you don't have Song of Determination. I know it's pretty bad, but in this way, you're able to keep going. If you don't want mend, you can make it so that you have your release, Song of Determination, and Song of Battle, but it depends on you. Do you think you're able to get your experience mend off, or do you think that it's not worth it and you should go for your other songs? You're not having a good situation in either case, I know, but this is kind of what you have to do. And armor is that important. If you say that, well, I'm going to get Song of Battle, and I'm going to have my Song of Determination, my 2 short swords and a release, well, what else are you going to pick up at second level? That's right. You have nothing else really to pick up. You can pick up some empowers. Ooh, a bit more mends for your swords and not armor. It's not a good look all around. So you need armor, and it's so much points that it really should be about 3 or something more manageable, because it's a requirement while leveling, and it will make your life so much better. With that, I would love to hear what you think of a level 2 bard. I'm sorry you're still not in the clear of, oh, I have options. You really don't. There's not that much yet, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Until next time, keep LARPing.